Thanks for joining me this afternoon, everybody. I'm going to take us a bit back in history to the world of ancient Greece, actually over 3,000 years ago, to the late Bronze Age in Greece, when a society known as the Mycenaeans was flourishing. And this society is well known for its long associations with the Trojan War. The heroes of the Homeric epics like Achilles and Agamemnon, Odysseus, warrior kings. And that connection drew scholars to Greece to look for evidence of this ancient society, this ancient past. And as of 2026, we have uncovered lots of evidence for real warrior kings of this Mycenaean society. Their palaces, the power and the luxury of their lives in the form of weapons and wall paintings. And it's in more recent years that we've started to acknowledge that that's only part of the picture. To really understand this society, we need to look for evidence of its people, not just its top 1%. But in the field of archaeology, trying to find the people is notoriously difficult. We know that they must have existed because there were these whole kingdoms. But when our evidence is skewed towards the remains from the elite lives, how do we find the people in that material evidence? Well, I'm here today to suggest one way that we can leverage that elite evidence, remains of a Greek Bronze Age palace, to find the contributions of non-elite craftspeople. So if we think about these large buildings, I work with the Palace of Nestor at Pylos in southwestern Greece, and I've spent time studying its architecture, particularly the remains of that building. And it helps to remember that the king lived in that palace, but didn't build it. It took a tremendous network of craftspeople, organizations of labor, architectural engineers, and material specialists to bring together everything needed to build that structure. And one class of material that is particularly enlightening is actually the plaster that was used to coat the floors and the walls of the building. This material was made of lime plaster. In simple terms, you take blocks of limestone, you burn them into a powder, and then you add water to make it into a putty that then you can use to spread on your floors and your walls. Sounds simple, like maybe we could do it. It's actually incredibly difficult to do. There are many steps along the process where you can err and result with a material that will either not set or crack, or at one stage, if you do it wrong, it will explode and cause bodily harm. So the people who were making this material were highly trained. They were experts in production of this material. And what we know from craft studies is that for technical crafts, where you have specialized craft people, they learn a particular way of doing, a way of making their product that is deemed correct and the right consistency for them. In the remains of the plaster from the Palace of Nestor, then we can look at the fragments of the plaster, these broken chunks that kind of look like our cracked sidewalks or asphalt, with textures. And they have different markers that show us the recipes, basically the mixes used by individual highly trained craftspeople. From the Palace of Nestor, I have over 1,000 fragments of these plaster floor fragments. And I've identified 4 different recipes that were used to pave the floors of that building. Those 4 different recipes are markers of 4 trained craftsmen who came together to make a large amount of this material and each contributed to the construction of this elite building. They brought with them their crews, their logistics networks, and ultimately, by looking at these humble, plain, little broken chunks of plaster, we can see the contributions of specialized knowledge, lives lived, and people who actually built the structure. I'm Shannon Lafayette Hogue from the Department of Classics at UMass, and this is my big idea.
Awesome.